I dedicate the words I share today to Portia, to Damien's grandchild, who chose to just live a short time, but is a part of all our hearts. And so I mention her today because her short life inspired me to really look deeply into what it is about being a mother and all the aspects of motherhood. And we all share in that, each and every one of us. You received, hopefully, when you walked in, a little card that said Mother's Heart, and with a little angel pin on that. And again, that's dedicated to Portia. And I wanted to remind us, as we celebrate Mother's Day, it is a celebration, and it's also a ritual and a deep opportunity to explore your own heart space, because it's more than about being a mom. It is also to all the children without a mother, all the others who have lost their children, and to the fathers who had to be the mother, and to everyone who's ever tried to love like a mother. This is who we're honoring this day. And to those that have nurtured, protected, guided, and mentored children. Your hearts, our hearts, each and every one of us have this divine mother principle dwelling within us as us, and it's about compassion, it's about extending love, and it's about learning to love our own mother, even if she was unskillful at times, with more grace and less judgment, so we can have peace. And that's what we all want, this deep peace in our life. So I have some quotations about mothers that some of them I found quite charming. And some quite made me kind of think, kind of deep. But a mother is a person who, seeing there are only 4 pieces of pie for 5 people, promptly announces she never did care for pie. The moment a child is born, the mother is also born. She never existed before. The woman existed, but the mother never. A mother is something absolutely new. That was from Ragnish. Abraham Lincoln said, "I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life." Pearl S. Buck, "Some mothers are kissing mothers, and some are scolding mothers, but is love just the same? And most mothers kiss and scold together." From Ambrose Pierce, "Sweater, noun, a garment worn by a child when its mother is feeling chilly." I like that one. "The heart of a mother is a deep abyss at the bottom of which you will always find forgiveness." Oscar Wilde says, "All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That's his." Margaret Banning, "She never quite leaves her children at home, even when she doesn't take them along." Mothers are fonder than fathers of their children because they are more certain they are their own. Guess who said that one? Aristotle. What was he thinking way back then? Good. Call your mother, tell your mother you love her. Remember, you're the only person who knows what her heart sounds like from the inside. I think that's a beautiful one. Don't ever tell the mother of a newborn that her baby's smile is just gas. There is an instinct in a woman to love most her own child, and an instinct to make any child who needs her love her own. A mom's hug lasts long after she lets go. Being a mother is learning about strength you didn't know you had and dealing with the fears you never knew existed. And finally, a couple more here. One of the very reasons I had any respect for my mother when I was 13 was because she could reach into the sink with her bare hands, and pick up the lethal gunk that dropped into the garbage. To top that, I saw her reach into a wet garbage bag and fish around in there looking for a lost teaspoon. Bare hands. It's a kind of a mad courage. That's Robert Fulcrum. I just found those absolutely endearing to read and comical, but also so absolutely true. Paramahansa Yogananda speaks of the Divine Mother, and this Divine Mother principle is part of what the talk is today about, the sequence of creative order, which is dry. So I really have always loved the idea of the sweet balance when you bring the name of the Holy Mother into a prayer. And what is the Holy Mother? This is what we're going to look at today, this principle of the Divine Mother, the Holy Mother. And it is described as the aspect of God that is active in creation. It is the Shakti, is the Hindu word for that, Sanskrit word, or it's the power of the transcendent creator. Other terms are the divinity, the nature, the Holy Ghost, the cosmic intelligent vibration, the personal aspect of God as mother. Personal aspect of God as mother, which interprets it is the love. It is the love. It is the wisdom, the bliss, the light, and the form of the deity, or in a concept such as Heavenly Father, Mother, Friend. So it brings together a sense of softening, the idea of the masculine concept. We all have this masculine, feminine energy running through, streaming through our being. And it is the attributes of the masculine that creates the thought, the intelligence. And so that is floating in that divine potentiality. And then it is dropped into the heart of the mother, the creator, just as the word was spoken, and so it was. So it was with nature, with the plants, with the light, with the moon, with all that there ever has been. It had to move through this holy substance, this holy mother energy to be created. It is known as the Father above and impregnates the mother. So you see this womb of creativity. It is spoken and it is created. And it's powerful. It's beautiful and powerful, and we're doing it, we're operating it, we're playing with it all the time, every day. This teaching is based on that deep knowing of the creativity. It is so powerful that when you really polish your heart space and get in tune with that, it happens almost instantaneously. Yesterday, I got the privilege of doing 2 weddings. And the first one, the song is still in my head, the Carpenter song, all night long. I was glad you didn't sing that one. And I thought, I just want to be, because I like to saturate myself with what we're going to share together in a talk, and then let it seep in me all evening long as I try to sleep and rest. But no, it was the Carpenter song. Or the second event, which I created almost instantaneously. So the second wedding was at a ballpark, and we needed T-shirts that said, ball team stuff on it, and we don't have anything like that. And so I said, you have to do that. And so Charlie's out shopping at the last minute. We didn't want to spend like $75 on a stupid shirt. But he found some, but that cut us really tight getting to the wedding on time. So I said, I'll meet you there. We'll park at the hospital, and you pick me up there, we'll go to the ballpark. And all that, and then we were leaving. I said, let's not forget to pick up my car. Yeah, talking, get home, have dinner, 8 o'clock. We forgot the car. Oh, man. He said, it'll be okay till the morning. I said, no, it won't, not there, not at that hospital. And so I said, let's just finish up here and we'll go right down there. All the other cars around, mine's the only one with a smashed window. I know. And so in between the Carpenter song, Smash Window, dreams all night long. But I thought, I created that I feel like we drove up and he was walking away. Not that he could get anything in my car. I don't have anything but, shopping bags. But he was there at the car, and I said, ooh, that's kind of creepy. Look at that. Look at the window. Because we were driving up, and I first noticed him kind of walking away, trying to be cool. But I thought, did I create that? Did my thinking, oh no, There's a lot of, rough things going on around the hospital there. And it was only 9 o'clock, that's pretty bold. But I didn't get that affected by it. Charlie drove the car home, and it's all fine. We tucked it away. I won't look at it. That's how I deal with things. I won't look at it. I'll just dream about carpenters and a broken window all night long, and then come and talk to all of you. But I share that. That's the creative order. You see, what we really invest our feelings in, because I was pretty strong when I said, oh, no, you don't want to leave the car out. So not necessarily fear, but just due diligence. I was thinking, let's just go get the car, but it was a little bit too late. So the creative factor, what just happened? What just happened? And I thought something, and I felt it in my heart. That's when true creation happens, is when it goes through that medium, that soul, that divine mother. She holds the feelings of the heart. She holds our fears. I speak to it as the feminine because it's a feminine nature of compassion and holding and caring, regeneration, renewal, all of these ideas. She carries it all. And so the idea of the divine mother, the perfect mother, is we bow humbly and offer to the mother our broken heart, our broken way, in order to find our way. And so it starts with the Word of God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Spirit moved across the face of the deep. That's what it says in the Bible. What is the deep? It is the mother. It is the deep subconscious. It is the intelligence that thinks, and then it moves into the medium of creation by means of us. There is a proverb from India that says, what is learned in the cradle will go to the cremation ground. Because in Swami Satchidananda, we just finished studying the sutras, and he expresses, because the brain of a child is so new, its first impressions are so well defined. Think of that purity and the innocence of the baby. They are not easy to erase, those first impressions. It's something like writing on wet concrete. You cannot erase it easily. Just write anything, and it holds as it grows and gets harder. So we can't feel guilty about some of the things that are impressed upon us, our perceptual field. It is part of us. But we have this divine power, this divine knowing, to spend a lifetime polishing and renewing and calling upon the Divine Mother to take this from me, to take this. The idea from Satchidananda is the mother is the first guru. The universe is a feminine aspect, or the mother, so mothers should have the patience of the earth itself, because we are part of earth, part of nature. So the subjective mind, this part of us that filters our thoughts and impresses upon our thoughts, brings into manifestations, knows something, realizes something, affirms something. It is love itself. This is the Divine Mother, love itself. The creative law is the deep water of spirit set in motion by our word, and producing the situations or creating the world as you see your world today. So whatever you're experiencing right now, if it seems like you're standing on holy ground, you created that. If it feels like you're in a place of suffering, check your thoughts. What has been in the temple of the heart? What have you been feeling? And really look deeply. So we recognize, especially in this teaching, this absolute intelligence that is always, forever bestowed upon us. We tap and pull and reach, and we draw it into the substance of the soul, and we outpicture it in our life experience. So what happens, though, is what is in that medium that doesn't feel like it's really for our greater good? This is a question, and I heard it this morning as well. Why? Why do these hard things happen? Why? Why for little Portia? Why? And we continue. This whole idea was very profound to me. It was written by a mother who lost her child. Why put her in a place of suffering? Because there's never an answer to why. There is never going to be an answer to why. There's so much involved in what is created in our world. Past impressions, other impressions, race consciousness, it's all in that field of the subconscious. Why? Why did that happen? If we want to believe in a divine sequence, a divine order, perhaps there was a contract of a sweet child saying, I only want a few months. I just need a few months to feel love again. And then I'm going to go. Find me a parent strong enough that can endure that. And so be it. Is that a why? I don't know. But the other idea of this story, the healing of a loss of a child, she experienced, one particular woman experienced such deep agony in the loss of her child. But she shares the story of her healing. And the question that she turned it around, instead of why, what? Now think about that in any experience in your life. What? What now? What now? Why keeps me in suffering? But what now? Byron Katie's brilliant in that work. She keeps reminding us to loving what is. And when you have a question, what would I be without these thoughts, without this torturous heart of keep beckoning the why, the answer that there is no answer, or the question that there is no answer to, why? Let that one go and say, what? What do I do now? And what she received in the divine feminine in her, this quality is her intuition. She heard the words, live for me. The sweet child would breathe through her and say, live for me. And so she made that choice to start little by little, and it was not easy, to pick up pieces and find some joy. Find some way to start to experience life again in honor of her beloved child. And she developed this whole website for healing of a mother's heart that has lost a child, and also for the mothers that have longed for a child and have never had one. Let us not forget any of those wonderful feminine energy of the mother's heart. So there was one particular mother that when she had this experience, she decided to shift in a way that she gave her mothering instincts an outlet. So she said, motherhood is about nurturing, and many women have never been mothers physically. Nevertheless, they brim with the ability and the passion to nurture others. Motherhood has to do with protecting life while it's in formation, whether that's the life in the womb or a life struggling, or a life of a family who's been battered by circumstance. Motherhood is about mentoring relationships, and mentoring happens whenever the need is identified and the mentor and the mentee are willing. So when you speak of motherhood, when you honor it, honor the transcendent gift of motherhood in all forms. Honor those who nurture others by visits at a home or hospital, providing safe and cheerful places for preschoolers, and being a non-judgmental entity and living the presence for the teenagers. Don't forget the spiritual mothers. Many of them are the nuns who have nurtured many a priest and a leader through their spiritual direction. Honor the older woman who has so often are the very backbone of the faith community. One of the joyous Christians this person ever knew was an elderly woman who became an example of true faith, never married or had children, but she was a light to this woman, even with all the angst that filled her adolescent years. I knew she had something that made it possible to connect with life, and I hope to know that spiritual peace. This is the Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers, the beloved God who has blessed each and every one of us with this absolute knowing. So going back to finding a way. So what do I do with this? This woman found it a way to be the mentor, to be the guide. Further work from this young mother, she says, asking why put me in a really dark hole, and I didn't emerge from that darkness until I stopped asking why and started asking what heals me. What was it that made me feel good ever before this happened? What brought joy to my heart? What lifted my spirits? And so I began to channel my grief into things that made me feel the slightest bit of happiness. Before too long, my whys were turned into amazing wonders. My life became all about love and seeking healing and honoring my precious little boy by living my life for him. What heals you? What heals you? Don't be stuck in the why. What heals you? You might not get your answer right away, but give it time. Place a little energy on whatever it is that brings joy. Go paint or hike or read a book or sing a song or cook or garden. Whatever it is, focus on joy and watch your life begin to heal again. I find that helpful. I lost a second child, and I find that there's this place that we walk with a fragment of our heart forever chipped away and broken, and it lays there. No one can pick that piece up and mend our heart totally back to a unified heart field. But there's something different. There's some grace that holds that allows us to float in that space. There was another Jewish woman in the bottom line of her story. She shares this beautiful tribute because she expressed trying to discuss it with her rabbi, trying to make sense. And she said she decided, due to her rabbi's direction, to dedicate time and energy to help other children. He suggested I contact the Jewish organization that took care of all the orphan children whose parents had either died or couldn't take care of them. Within a week, I had the position with all the little babies. My new full-time job was caring for these little precious souls, bathing them, playing with them, loving them. I will never forget the first time one of the children hugged me and called me mommy. I wanted to correct him and tell him I wasn't his mommy when I realized I was. To them, I was. I was their mother. And to me, they were my children. No, I didn't give birth to them, but I had given them the security, the love, the care that I would have given my own Bracha. And Bracha had given me the ability to do so. I've been working with this organization for 20 years, and next month it would have been Bracha's 21st birthday. Over the years, I have helped raise hundreds of precious and beautiful babies, watched them develop into successful children and then young adults. 21 years ago, Bracha made me a mother, but it was the children who I dedicated the rest of my life who made me a mommy. And thanks to the hope and the ability that my Bracha instilled in me, I can now proudly call myself a bubby, a grandma. Since one of the girls I cared for just gave the birth to her first daughter, you can imagine how much I cried when I held the little girl as they named her at the Torah. You see, they named their beautiful baby Bracha. I find that an incredibly healing story of we don't know right now the answers to what is before us. But when we lay it down in the altar of the mother's heart into that place of the absolute, place of love, when the heart has shattered, there is a place where we're encouraged to keep on moving and we will be strong again. Francisca Cox, one of the bereaved mothers, says, "A mother is not defined by how many children you can see, but by the love she holds in her heart. Mother's heart is a heart of courage, strength, and a profound love that transcends all space and time, that can carry hurt and healing together. Speak the names of the lost children, and speak to the beautiful mothers who have the courage to keep on living because a piece of their heart is missing. This is the courage. In order to transform and establish this behavior, we bring light. We bring that, again, back to the creative order of intelligence of all things. We bring that idea, that masterful idea on this sacred day of Mother's Day, to honor it in a way that allows us to stretch our walls of our heart, to reach out and to embrace the suffering. So sometimes, just like the mother who dug into the trash without any gloves on, into those murky waters. We look deep into the murkiness of our own consciousness to find the truth, to find the lost principle, and to find how that can polish and attune us to the divine love that dwells. See, the work is on the inside of each and every one of us. There's a passage that says, the door to change always, always opens from the inside. Don't squander your life energy. Don't drain your vitality by an attachment, a rigid attachment to an old perception that keeps hurting you. Shift away. Bring grace, bring the Divine Mother, bring the holy knowing into that creative medium that will change you, This is genuine love flowing. This is the heart of the Divine Mother flowing. This is the integration, the key to look beyond all diversity, to discern what is, and to seek a tendency to change and to have the courage to change. So we honor all mothers, those so blessed and joyful with their little ones still at home. I still call my kids kids, but they're in their 30s, almost 40, but they're kids. And a piece of my heart chips because none of my children want children, so I don't have grandchildren. One child does, and she hasn't had that happen yet. So it's a full spectrum. And each one of you here, as you hold that little paper that says the mother's heart, that is what we cherish today. That which dwells within us as us is alive and rich and pure and true. So join with me. Thank you for your respect, your attention to the Mother, to the Holy Mother. So we close our eyes and we drop from the mind of thinking to the heart of feeling, to the Holy Mother. And as we start a prayer, dear Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, we are one. We lean in to the principles of truth that dwell within each of our beings. Each one of us at a different stage, a different understanding, a different perceptual field of what is going on all around us. But let us this day sprinkle our awareness with this divine pure love of forgiveness and compassion, intuition and grace and knowing. That everything has the possibility to renew and renew itself, to rejuvenate itself, to be born again and again in a whole new powerful way. So we give thanks for the creative order of all things, for a law that is never broken, a law that though when we're caught in the middle and we have not seen the true demonstration just yet, it is moving. It is a moving principle in our life. It is something that we trust and lean into, to the Holy Mother, to the Divine Father, knowing that we are the outpicturing, we are the physical being of their gifts. So I give thanks for each and every one of us here today being willing to continue to live a life of an open heart, a forgiving heart, willing to drop our perceptions and judgments and just simply ask, what can I do? What can I do to make this world a better place? And then listen to the heart and move in that direction. That is grace. I give thanks for your attention here, for your willingness to share Mother's Day in this community, knowing that now you are truly blessed in every way. It is what the Mother does. I release my word. It's already so. And together we say, and so it is. Oh, thank you. I wanted to take a moment while I'm still up here and thank two incredible people for last weekend. And that is Shirley and Bill McQuiston. If you could stand up, please. You talk about a divine mother. She took the shopping list for, we didn't know what we were doing, and created something amazing for the feast of food. And Bill stood by her carrying all these boxes in. Every time I looked at Bill, he just had this quiet face of, I am in service, I am in service. So there's these little, the package, the paper's falling apart, you know how you do something. But I have these small tokens from my heart to yours. And if you could bring those over to them. Charlie, could you carry the other one? One is for your daughter, Tammy. She was a big part. And Bill, and then the other one for you, Shirley, the bigger one. Just thank you. Because it was tireless service to this center that created an opportunity for many of us to step in and share the good of last weekend as well. But truly, your spirit and the way you carried that brought a lot of love to the community. So we honor you. Thank you. Thank you.